Well, we have one more eclipse in Leo, and hopefully it doesn't put us into center stage and have us drama kings or queens, and maybe we can stay under the radar. And now announcement number 2 is my other channel, the Brothers of the Sword Productions. I've just published my next Oak Island Prophesy, Part 5, and I titled it My Treasure Location, because I actually identify a location on Oak Island where I believe a treasure could exist. And if you're interested, the link is down below in the description box. Now, this last month we've been through a lot of things that's touched everyone's lives. It sparked off at the end of June when Mars went retrograde. And then we've been through 2 eclipses, Cancer and Aquarius, lunar, emotions, a lot of things running wild. And now we have Mercury, that's retrograde, and we're trying to keep misunderstandings to a low roar. We're trying to regain our energy with Mars still retrograde. And here there's a continuum going from these eclipses for you because there's some changes going on. But these aren't just short-term things where you're changing something that's been sitting on your counter in the kitchen forever. These are long-term changes because the rune that you received was Hera. This is the 12th rune to signify months and years. It's saying here that whatever process that you're in, you just can't speed it up. It has to take its natural course. And you're working through a lot of things I can see. But I think through time it's been kind of a ebb and flow. You know, sometimes the tide is out and there is no joy. And other times it comes in and you're feeling some joy in your life. Your emotions are flowing on their own volition. Time is the river of life, or the lake of our souls. To humans, time is a very strange thing. Usually we go from event to event, rather than looking at the clock. It's when you graduated from college and you had your first child. When you divorced, whatever had happened goes by cornerstone events. And that's what's been on your mind lately. For some reason, you've been thinking about a lot of things in black and white, and now you're seeing the nuanced tones that are making you think differently about things. You know, the Norse thought of the weather and the seasons as just summer and winter. I consider it road construction in winter. Now, this rune actually signifies the cycle of birth and rebirth, really. You know, we're going from times of abundance sometimes to times of dearth. And this is just reminding you about the natural cycles of life. And the Minchiati card that I put together for you, or actually chose for you, is Earth. It's saying that you have to come back down from Earth, from your mind, from your mindset. Because, you know, Aquarians are really up there with the swords, you know, and the intellect, logic. Now really it's time for you to come back down to earth. That's why we have our feet on the earth. Ground yourself. Be appreciative of the abundance that the earth brings for you. I think there's been some tactile things that you've denied for a long time that now really you have to accept in your life. The senses. Bringing it in and enjoying life for what it's worth. Down in reality. Now the overall energy card is the Chariot. My goodness, you've had a lot of opposing forces that you've been actually trying to work through, but right underneath that is the Lover's card with the Devil's card. Oh my God, uh-oh. There's been some things that you've been having to work out about your emotions and your love. Things that have put you into a quagmire. Maybe there was some exploitation, people taking advantage, manipulation. These are the opposing forces of actually having true love versus dealing with people that are extending the false aspect of love. You've gotten to the point where this exploiter, if one existed, you're looking at who are you? And now you're looking inside yourself wondering, who are you? You've made some decisions about these opposing forces that you feel a little guilty about, a little sheepish. Maybe you shouldn't really have been drawn into things. And of course the Devil card really does signify denial. imprisonment, maybe even some idealized idea of what life should be in the perfect world rather than the way it really is. But now you're working through these opposing forces. They were a challenge. This chariot is really about self-awakening, self-realization, self-discipline, self-control. But right now, really, at the head of the class here, it's regaining your confidence again about realizing who are you, who really are you now. But this chariot is all about motion and moving forward. And you are. The wheels are going into motion now. You're using the opposing forces to your benefit. That's why there's yin and yang, for it to come into peace and harmony. If there wasn't opposing forces, how would we know the difference? The difference is that you have to find the balance through the challenges of these opposing forces that presented themselves, that actually taught you a lot of lessons. Now you're changing incredibly quickly through things. It's a slow process, but these realizations all of a sudden come, Darwin's theory was wrong. Things happened 1 in a million and 1 in a billion that made the big difference, the big It wasn't this extremely slow process. At times there was a fossil years ago that used to have its orifice of its mouth next to its anus. And of course, about 300 million years later, of course, it went 180. There's those times, but here a lot of times the makes the big difference. Now here on the left, for what is the Three of Wands and the Six of Cups. All right, we can see right there where you were kind of stagnated in the past, because the Six of Cups is about memory, recollection, and the past. Things are welling up from the past. And you're starting to deal with them now because you have the Three of Wands there. The Three of Wands is another motion card. You're launching some things. You've already made some plans. You've already looked over the horizon. You're now seeing the opportunities that are available to you that maybe you didn't see when you were under the spell of the devil. But here, in what is or can be yours, is the Lover's card and the Devil. You have the choice now of balancing what you've learned out. You can give love, yeah, but to the right people, the right time, and the right place, and not for the wrong reasons. Loneliness is even worse when you're with somebody that makes you feel lonely. But you're getting over this because what your self-awareness cards say, you received the Four of Wands twice. And here now it's a reveling card. It's about coming home. It's about coming into yourself now. It is about connecting back with people and finding harmony with them. You went through a rites of passage for change. This is now your season of rites of passage, that you've changed and now it's time to revel. The Chariot actually reinforces that these challenges have been overcome. They might have been overwhelming at one point, but now they're overcome. This card is about success and victory. And if you look way down to the right, your last future card is the Chariot again. It is saying you have overcome, a little bit of Amazing Grace kind of thing going on here. And there was some fortunate things involved in all of this, because the future cards is the Nine of Cups, the wish card. You wished really hard that some things would change in your life. You weren't looking at material things anymore. You live in your mind. You wanted the spiritual self back. You wanted yourself back. And here it is, the Ace of Cups, giving you the new revival, the new sense of all of the things. You're now seeing and feeling, smelling things and tasting things, and it has more robust meaning to you. It has significance once again. Now you have the Five of Pentacles up there, though, and that's, oh man, you can't go back and digress and revert into these feelings that you had when you were with the devil. You can't feel guilt all the time just because you went through this. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all do things for sometimes the wrong reasons. Now don't take things for granted. Appreciate where you're at now. And the Six of Pentacles is a great thing to have right now because it's balancing out the give and take. That's what this card is, a very difficult, challenging card to find a balance between give and take. You know, you can't expect reciprocation, but you should do without desire. But when you do that and you find the devil right in front of you, well, you know, he's going to take, and take. But here the last Chariot card is saying, yeah, you've made success. You've had victory over all this. And now you're reveling over it. Because you're not looking back. You're looking forward. But you know what? Live in the present and seize the day. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.